Hello and good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, and as usual at 9 p.m., I come on live on this channel on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook to answer your questions on email marketing. Hi, let me do this. My name is Andrew, if you're new to me, and I'm the email guy. And what I do is every week I come on live to answer your questions, any questions on email marketing, to help you get along and to get maximum benefits from your emails and also your business. Okay. If there's anybody else coming in, so if you're watching this live, good evening. If you're watching this on replay, um, you know thank you for watching. And it's today's what? Today's the fourth day of, was it fourth day or third day of Chinese New Year? Happy Chinese New Year to any one of you who are celebrating it. It's the year of the rabbit, and it's going to be an exciting year. Hi, Kevin Kong Sifach. Hi. we hope everybody gets rich, not only me, and I hope you too. Right? Thanks for logging in. Okay, so we're going to go to let me see. We're going to go through the questions now. Let me share the screen. Can we see anything? Oh, okay. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Doesn't seem to work. Okay, never mind. Let's delete this and start a new one. Just a minute. And we're going to show this. There you go. And by the way, it's episode 40. Let that sink in. I've done 40 episodes. Wow. Short period of time. I think time passes when you're having fun. Okay, before let's get on with the questions. If you're new to me, I help businesses build deeper relationships with their prospects and also clients through the medium of emails. And you can do this through outreach, or essentially what people call it cold email marketing, or inbound, or where you have subscribers and you're writing emails on a daily basis or weekly basis to nurture them, to build the know, like, and trust, and to eventually make offers that will convert, that they will buy. Okay, so it helps to increase leads and obviously sales. So if you have questions and you find that, hey, maybe Andrew can answer some of my questions, go to this site, ants.digital, that's my website, /ask. Or if you have a phone with you now, you can scan this QR code, which will lead you to a very simple Google form. Just enter your email and then fire off your questions. And what I'll do is I will answer them in the following week. Okay. And if you want to know more about me, you can follow me on socials. Primarily, I'm active on LinkedIn. I am still testing Twitter. I'm working with Danny. I'm learning from him to how to use Twitter. I think that's a very exciting platform um, to play with. But probably another week or so. Okay, but generally speaking, you can follow me on LinkedIn. Similarly, you just go to ants.digital /LinkedIn. It will go to my profile page, or you can scan the QR code, which also link you to the profile page. All right, so you click on the follow button, and if you want to be notified whenever I post something, then click on the bell button. All right, simple as that. So the first questions for this evening is from a gentleman called Khalid, and he's asking, what are the top 3 things I should do to start a cold email campaign? Okay, cool. Khalid, this is for you. So the top 3 things that you need to do, number one, is you need to have a lead list. Okay, now what is a lead list? That means you will have gone through, for example, you can use LinkedIn, right? Which is why I prefer this platform, especially because most of my customers hang out there. All right. LinkedIn, you can then go through, your contacts, or you can do search. You can identify who are your target audience. Okay. And then you can send the connection request, for example, or you can see whether you can actually scrape or get their email address out. Okay, so this is what you need to do. Get a lead list up and running, which is a list of people that you want to reach out to. Okay, the good thing about cold email is, unlike running ads, you are doing a very targeted, like Maverick would say, a very sniper approach to getting in touch or to connect with their prospect. Okay. Number two, once you have done that lead list, so that means you build an Excel of all your lead leads with their email address. The next thing you need to do is you need to research the list. Now, what do I mean by that? If you send emails out without any context and you're trying to sell upfront for the first email, okay, that is akin to spamming, because first the recipient don't know who you are, and there's no context as to why you're sending emails to him or her. So what you want to do is you want to go through, once you have your lead list, you will go through each and every one to try to identify what are the key things, an event or something they post, for example. Okay, show concern or show interest in what they do. And that will help you with your, first line or first paragraph of your personalized email, personalized line, for example, in your email. So you can say, "Hey, Andrew, I saw you did a live answering this, and I find it very insightful," for example. And then you can follow up by, "Can I connect with you?" All right. You can use email. You can use through your LinkedIn to connect as well. But generally speaking, have a bridge, right, from somebody. Try to be relatable to them. Okay. So once you have that bridge, it is important for you when you send that email, it will increase the amount of response, right? Because you're not selling something, you're trying to reach out to help. You're trying to reach out to connect and engage. Okay, so that's the difference with regards to cold email. And a lot of people may get it wrong in the sense that they'll think, I'm going to blast to everyone on my list, on the list I've collected, for example, and try to sell my way out front. Ain't going to happen. You're going to get people reporting spam on your emails. Okay, so once you have done your research or your list, then you need a tool. Okay, now you do not use the common ESPs like your MailerLite or your MailChimp and all those things to send, because those are inbound email. It's designed to do inbound email. That means it is designed for customers who opted in. In this case, when you're doing cold email, they didn't opt in. You are just sending an email to reach out to them. Okay, so you can do, for example, two possible software. One is called AutoClose, and the other one is called Mailshake. Okay, so what these two tools do is they will help you build, let's say, a sequence of 3 emails. Okay, it's almost like an automated emails where you can then personalize your first line. Okay, and you enter into all this together with your lead list. And what it does is it will then schedule and send. In this case, you also need a Gmail account, a corporate one, or paid account, because it will be sent through this Gmail. It will not be sent through their ESP system. So that's the key difference between your common ESPs and software tools like this. All right. So AutoClose and Mailshake technically is not an ESP, but it is a tool for you to schedule your outreach, put in your sequence of 3 or maybe 5 emails, for example, as a follow-up. And so that such a point that once they respond, you want to have that conversation going. All right. So once you have the conversation going and they're more familiar with you, and when they open up on their problems, for example, that's where the opening is there for you to offer your product or your service. Okay. So, Khalid, I hope you find this useful. So 3 things you need to do. 1, get a lead list. That means compile a list of people that you want to reach out to. Second thing is do your research on the list as thorough as possible. It could be from their company website, it could be from their social posts, for example, anything that helps you build a bridge for them to talk to you. Okay. Of all this, the idiots have to start playing fireworks. Just a minute, I'm going to turn off my window. Okay, so let's quickly go through this before they start doing more damage to my audio. So the next question comes from Sean, and he's basically asking, besides email authentication, what else affects email deliverability? Okay, so a couple of things that will affect. So let's say you have done your email authentication, your DKIM, SPF, and DMARC, right? So DKIM, SPF, and your DMARC. Okay, you've done all these things. Basically, you've established your email cred with your mailboxes, that you're a genuine sender, you have all these things sorted out. The next thing you want to do is you need to make sure your email use an email sender name that is familiar to your recipient. So if you're from a company, you can use the company name. So let's say openai.com, okay, just OpenAI. Or if you want to associate yourself, as a representative for a company, you can say Andrew from OpenAI. Or if you're like me, where you run your own business and the brand is yours and your name, then you just use Andrew. But the important thing is to make sure that it is familiar to your recipient. So that's one thing. Okay. Because if they're not familiar with with your name, or they don't know who you are, very likely that they won't bother to open your email. Okay. Second thing is obviously your subject line. Now, this is where you have to be very careful with your subject line. You can create curiosity. That's fine. Okay, create an email on curiosity, using curiosity, for example. You do not want to use subject line that's clickbait. That means you mention something on your subject line, but in actual fact, in the content of your email, is nothing relevant to that. Okay, and you do not want to have spammy kind of subject line, right? For example, like emails from those Nigerian prince and all those things, you probably see the subject line. It's about money, it's about, your will is waiting for you, that kind of stuff. Those things will affect your delivery, because very likely before they even they open your email, they probably just report it as spam. Okay. And the last thing you want is people to report your emails as spam. Okay. Then the next thing is you then need to segment your audience. Now, you probably heard me saying them so many times that you do not send an email blast to everyone on your list. One, because not everyone will be interested in what you have to offer. Number one. Number two, it shows that you have very little concern or interest in their benefits. So you want, over time, if you have a list, when you start sending emails, you will realize that there are certain characteristics of your audiences, and you want to segment them accordingly. And so that when you make an offer, for example, you only send to people who are interested, who have indicated interest. Number one. Number two is also you want to look at people who are engaged, right? There are some subscribers who subscribe to your list, but they do not open your emails for weeks and weeks, or sometimes even months. Now, those are the people that you may want to remove them from your list after 60 days or maybe 90 days, because clearly they're not engaged. And this one is whenever you send emails to people who are not engaged, it will then trigger a signal to the mailbox providers that, maybe your email is not important to their users. That's why they're not opening. That's why they're not engaging. And in that case, then very likely then they will either send your emails to the promotions tab, or they may just mark you internally as spam email. Okay. So that's the other one. And from time to time, you need to clean your list. You do this every, let's say, 6 months. One is to root out or filter out people who are not engaged. Second thing is, people may change emails, or they change my email accounts, for example. So if you don't update and you don't clean the list, you're going to end up sending emails that's constantly being bounced, and either soft bounce or hard bounce. You will still send signals to the mailbox providers that you're not very careful, or there's very little list hygiene that's being carried out on your email list. Okay. What else? And finally, make sure you have engagement in your email. So if you're on my list, you probably notice from time to time, I will say, reply to my email, for example, right? I won't bother to ask you to drag your inbox, my email into your inbox and all those things. Most people don't do that. And either they don't know how to do it, they just couldn't be bothered. But replying to an email is a form of engagement. So there's to and fro because email is a two-way communication channel. Okay. So, Sean, these are the other stuff that you need to make sure in order for you, aside from just authenticating your emails, your domain, is to make sure that the practice or the way you send your emails, the content that you use, the sender name, and also the subject line, for example, is actually useful to your recipients. If you do that, then your email deliverability over time will definitely improve, and you just keep doing it. Okay. So, with that, so a quick one. So if you find this useful and you want to, get into the email game for your business, for example, but you're not sure how to get started, I have put together several done for you services, from simple thing as setting up your emails to getting your emails authenticated, your email domain authenticated, and all those things, right? Or even writing your campaigns. Each one are modular. So go to this site, ants.digital/DFY, which stands for done for you, and pick any one of the services that is available that could help you get started with your email marketing. And if not, then if you have any questions, feel free to send to my Google Forms, which is ants.digital/us, and send your questions over, and I will answer them in the following week. Okay. So with that, I'm done. I hope to see you again next week. And if you're watching this replay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of the weeks and productive rest of the week ahead. Good evening, and Andrew Wong signing off. Cheers. See you next week.